Hi, I am Michael Buckoff from BetterTOEFLScores.com and welcome everybody. Today I'm looking at the question and answering this: what are TOEFL writing unclear connections? So, why am I even trying to answer this question? So, the reason is if you look at the IBT rubrics here, let's take a look at them. I'm going to point out a couple of things here. I know many of you want to get a score of 25 or higher, at least 24 points or higher, right? So, in the three area, it says displays unity, progression, and coherence. Though means although connection of ideas may be occasionally obscured. Obscured means not clear. So you don't want the IBT human raters to be thinking about this when they're reading your essay. Now you want them to think about this. Your essay is generally well organized and well developed, right? And then, of course, you can look at five as well organized and well developed using clearly appropriate explanations, exemplifications, and or details. So I want to take a look exactly at this issue here. So what does it mean if your ideas may be occasionally obscured or your ideas may be occasionally unclear? What does that mean exactly? Let's look at an example of an essay that is fairly well organized, although, quote, as ETS says in its rubrics, connection of ideas may be occasionally obscured, end quote. What does it look like exactly, right? It's better for you to see it, right? If you see it, it's going to make better sense to you. And believe it or not, this essay was emailed to me yesterday. This is one of my TOEFL writing bootcamp course students. She wrote the essay, and I wanted to point out there's at least two instances in her writing where her ideas are occasionally obscured. Now, you have to think about first of all, what is the actual writing prompt? The writing prompt is: do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Government should give more money to protect the environment. Give specific reasons and examples to support your opinion. So, first of all, the thesis does not obscure anything. This is a good thesis. In my view, the government should spend money to protect the environment because this additional money will decrease air pollution and also increase the chances of survival of the endangered species. So, that's very clear. We can see here how this connects to the writing prompt. So, there is no obscuring a meaning there. However, in the next paragraph, this is the first problem. To begin with, I want to say that we are living in an age of industry and technology. So, why are we saying this, and how does this connect to the thesis in the previous paragraph, and how does this topic sentence connect back to the writing prompt? It doesn't, it's unclear. Why are you telling me why we're living in an age of industry and technology? This is just simply stating a fact. It doesn't make any argument. It doesn't connect back to the thesis. Now, in the next paragraph, the topic sentence says the company or government should also spend money to increase the chances of survival of endangered species, which add tremendous beauty in the environment and ecosystem. So I think here it does make the connection clear. There's kind of a cause effect relationship. So if the government spends money on the environment, it will help to increase the chances of survival of endangered species, right? And that is very clear. Now, let's take a look at the conclusion. This will keep the environment healthy and also make it possible to maintain its natural charm and beauty. I think that the connection in the conclusion could be more clear. How does this conclusion relate to the two key points in the body paragraphs? Or simply put, how does the conclusion relate back to the thesis stated in the first paragraph? So it is not entirely clear what that connection is. So then Your question might be, how would you edit this essay, Michael, to make the connection of ideas more clear, right? That's the question. That's what I want to take a look at right now. Okay, so there's no change needed in the thesis. Thesis is very clear. Now, in the topic sentence of that first paragraph, this is what I would do. So I would precede this, we're living in an age of industry and technology. I would precede that with this sentence. To begin with, governments allocating more money to protect the environment will decrease the amount of pollution in cities around the world. That's the change I would make in that topic sentence, and then it would more clearly connect back to the thesis. And then with the conclusion, I would say this: earmarking more money for the environment will lessen air pollution. Notice that's the first topic of the first body paragraph, and then will help endangered plants and animals to repopulate so they do not become extinct, and that restates the purpose of the second body paragraph. So those are the changes I would make so that the connection of ideas will be more clear and will not be obscured in any meaning. In any way, I should say. Now, I'm going to give you 3 tips now. Follow these 3 tips to make your writing connections more clear. That way, the TOEFL will not look at your writing as being unclear in some way. You do not want that. That's not a good thing. Remember that. I want to help you get higher than really 25 points on the writing section. So here's tip number 1. Your thesis should restate the writing prompt, simply put. So just make sure whenever you're writing your thesis, you have the writing prompt directly in front of you. Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Governments should give more money to protect the environment. Give specific reasons and examples to support your opinion. So then we say the government should spend money. Notice how that restates the verb mentioned in the writing prompt. And then we say the government should spend money to protect the environment because this additional money will help to decrease the pollution, or how about decrease, we'll say air pollution, and also will increase the chances of survival of the endangered species. So that's my first tip, is to make sure that your thesis restates the writing prompt. You can kind of see how I did that. The government should spend, and maybe it might be better if I show you it this way. Let me show you what I'm talking about here, see if this makes sense. Maybe it might be better to look at it like this. Okay, so what I'm talking about here, hold on. Okay, so we want to take a look at how the thesis restates the writing prompt. That's what I want to show you here. Might be better if I illustrate it here. Notice how we use the word government here, right? And we also, you see the word governments in the writing prompt. And then we have should spend money here, which kind of restates the idea, should give more money here. We have protect environment. We have, again, protect environment here. We have protect the environment here. And then we get into what we call our thesis. So restating the thesis means that you include some of the key words from the writing prompt. You include those ideas in the actual thesis. Okay, let's go on to the next tip. So tip 2, your topic sentences should refer back to the key points mentioned in your thesis. So see if I can illustrate this visually with you a little bit better. Okay, so notice in the thesis we bring up, it looks like decrease pollution and increase chances of survival of endangered species. So then, in the first topic sentence, right, we include this word we have it will decrease the amount of pollution, right? So definitely that restates that first idea. And then we have increases the chances of survival. We said the company or government should also spend money to increase the chances of survival of endangered species. So increase the chances of survival of endangered species. Exactly this kind of restates this second key idea. So you want to make sure that what you do in the topic sentences, they kind of illustrate what your purpose is, which you explicitly stated in your thesis. Tip number 3. The conclusion should restate the key points of thesis and body paragraphs. So how does that look? So let's take a look at this. So we can see in the thesis we have the government should spend money to protect the environment because we have these key ideas to decrease pollution, and we have increased chances of survival of endangered species, right? So notice, as I have discussed, it says in the conclusion, earmarking more money will lessen air pollution, right? That's definitely a key idea, and will help endangered plants and animals to repopulate so they do not become extinct. So notice how I put lessen instead of saying decrease. So a strategy is you want to show the IBT human raters and also E-Rater, ETS's artificial intelligence scoring engine, that you have vocabulary. So we use lessen, which goes back to decrease. Air pollution is pollution. Then we have it will help the endangered plants and animals to repopulate so they don't become extinct. And that kind of restates that idea stated in that thesis, the second point in the thesis. So now you know. Now you know some things that you can do to make your writing more organized. That way you do not score in the 3 area according to the TOEFL IBT rubrics. Now, if you're ready, if you're on a tight budget, go over to bettertoeflscores.com. I have a TOEFL speaking and writing service. It's only a little bit each month. It's not very much. You can complete your speaking and writing practice and get feedback. Don't you want to know if you're going in the right direction? Right? So just because you watch a video doesn't mean you're going to get it. It means that you now need to start completing writing practice tests, and you can see if your writing is more or less organized. And I will tell you if it is. And I will even suggest specific lessons in my online course to help you to get better. With practice, you can get better, but sometimes it takes time. All right, thank you.